Hi everyone, this is Rio on Paper. I promised you a while back a full system update for the second half of 2024. So that is what this video is going to be. First, I wanted to look at what is leaving the current lineup. I think those won't really be big surprises because I've talked about that, about wanting to change out certain planners before. Then what is staying, which is obviously the other half of, the past lineup. Wow, good intro. And then what is new, which is arguably the most exciting part. At least I'm very excited to show you what I've been working with for the past 1.5 weeks for so far. Then we'll dive into the question whether this is planner piece or not. And then I'm going to leave a little life update. Well, it's actually quite a big life update for last. So I'll try not to forget. If there was no live update in this video, remind me in the comments, but I'll make sure to remember. Okay, so what is leaving the lineup? These two are leaving the lineup. So this is my, at least for now, like these are not really going anywhere. I'm just going to put them on a shelf, like actually right next to the planners that are staying in the lineup. And I might switch them out. I might sometimes test the spread maybe in two planners that sort of have the same function just to see what works better. For me, like switching planners right now is mostly an experiment in order to learn more about certain planners and mostly about myself and my planning style, my preferences. So the Common Planner N1, which is the TN regular size, and the Common Planner A5 4-year are currently leaving the lineup. The N1 I've been struggling with for most of the year. There was a lot of empty space, there was a lot of duplicate information, and overall I was just really not happy with how I was using this. I do really like this planner though, and I'm actually kind of looking forward, which is probably going to sound a bit weird, but now that I've sort of freed myself from the responsibility of filling up this planner every week, I feel like I've given myself permission to play around a bit more with the remainder of the pages. So maybe try out a completely different spread. And if I'm like, yeah, this absolutely doesn't work, then I'm like, it's okay, it's fine. Like this planner was already sort of not going to make the end of the year. I don't know if that makes sense. And then we have the Common Planner 4-year A5. This was so weird. I had this in this cover, the Have a Nice Day hobonichi cover. And for some reason, I hadn't seen this black cover since the end of last year, like when I put it in this cover. And because I have been seeing this one a lot, the N1, which is the caramel color, and like this is sort of a brown beigey cover, I sort of thought, like I misremembered, and I thought that I had the Common Planner A5 in the camel color as well. So when I took it out, I was like, what do you know? Apparently I have a black one. But yeah, that's probably because I've been looking at this one for so long. But yeah, this is a lovely book. And in terms of the, like just how Catherine designed this planner, in terms of how it just looks, like the overall design and style of the planner, I absolutely love this. And there is nothing wrong with it. It's just that I've really been struggling with these vertical weeklies and also with the empty pages in the back. So that is why I wanted to try something else. Someone asked me in the video when I was talking about wanting to change this planner into something else. Someone asked me if the system really didn't work, or if there was like something wrong with the current system. And the truth is, I probably could make it work by experimenting more and making a lot of changes. But then I still don't really know what planner I wanted to get like for next year. And I don't really want to get something for next year where it feels like an experiment, because that is sort of what this year was supposed to be. And I'm hoping, and maybe that is a completely unrealistic idea, but I'm hoping that by the end of the year, I can make a really good decision about what's going to work for an entire year for next year. Maybe that is not how it works, but we'll see. So these two are currently going to sit on the shelf, and I'll probably flick through them once in a while because I've made some really nice spread in there, some spreads that I can look to and be like, these were nice. Like, this was a good week. Then what's staying? So these two are staying. There's the 5-year journal. I hope that this one will be staying for another 4.5 years. Still doing great so far. Haven't missed a single day. So yeah, nothing really to say about it. But I feel like the fact that I just always mention this one very briefly doesn't really do it justice, because I really enjoy writing in this one every morning. And then the newest little booklet that I set up a while ago, which is the project's planner journal thing. And I mean, it's not like really filling up very fast. I'm still working on the first project, but I am making progress, and I'm really enjoying just being able to put this one next to my planner every week when I'm making a planning and like a schedule for the week. It just helps me see whether I'm on track. I can just write down a couple of tasks from this list, from this specific project, onto my weekly plan, and I don't have to continuously like write down either the whole list or forget what the next steps were supposed to be. Like, it's really nice to just have this sort of perpetual overview of everything that needs to get done for this project, and then I can just keep on scheduling things in whenever I have time to work on it. So that's great, and I'm looking forward to finishing this project. I should actually like check off some more items because I am almost done, and then I can like start a new project. So this really helps to not get too overwhelmed in terms of projects. So that's really great. And then for the what's new part, there is the takeanote planner that I've briefly shown, but that I hadn't really done anything in yet. And then the paper test designs undated yearly notebook. I got the undated one, which is definitely not my preference. However, that was the only one that is available right now because we are obviously at kind of a weird mid-year point. But it's definitely good enough to really get a good feeling for how the paper test designs like sort of layout and setup works, and what I can do with that, and whether that is an improvement for me in comparison to the common planner, or whether it doesn't really make a big difference. But first I'm going to show you the takeanote because that's the one that I'm most excited about. I have been loving writing in this book every day, and it is just really great. I've just a little reminder in the front of like what I was going to use the specific pages for, and like what marker width I'm using in which sort of style. I don't know. I like setting rules for myself. This is the first page. And as I already have an entire like 4-page spread dedicated to trackers, I didn't really want to track something very important here on this sort of Gantt chart. So what I'm doing is just coloring in a box with the ink color that I've journaled with that day. So like the box at the bottom, I just completely color in, and then I just make some small lines in the other row, and it looks cute. Let me pull this up a little closer. I'm also realizing that most weeks I want to use like either 1 or 2 colors, because otherwise the pages will look very busy because there's also decoration. So maybe it'll look a little bit boring. So I don't know. I might change this up, but for now I think it's fun. I still need to backfill the trackers for the first 6 months, but I did make like a little decoration at the bottom. That's this wintry, like die cut PET tape piece part that has like a wintry landscape, and then there's this sort of spring-ish mountain meadow with like a little river and some sheep. And then for summer, I picked this one, which is like a sort of pine-ish forest in the mountains. And I love this. This is probably my favorite one. It just looks so good. And then for autumn, I've picked the autumnal one from the set, obviously. And here I just like color in the boxes whether I've done the habit or the thing or not. And I wrote them down at the bottom here, and I did so very, very lightly. Like you can barely see it. And that is good enough. Like I didn't want it to sort of clash with the decoration, but it's still visible enough to be readable and legible. So that's perfect. So I was also considering not writing anything down and just like remembering, like right now I know what the 11 rows are, but then maybe like next year I want to look back at the planner and I'm like, yeah, I have absolutely no idea what this was. So I did want to write it down. And then we have the monthly page, which now doesn't look as full yet, but I think it will look pretty full at the end of the month. We have the little graphs for each week, which track my focused hours and my sleep. Then I have the calendar boxes, in which the color corresponds to specific mood, which was sort of the most prevalent mood that day. If there were like 2 moods, I'll add a second color. And then in the boxes, like on top of the color, I just write a little note about why I was feeling that way, or sort of what might have influenced my mood. And then in the top row, I write down the minimum temperature for the day, the maximum temperature, and the what's it called? The precipitation, like how much rain there was. And I just get these the next day from our Weather Institute's website. Super easy. And I quite like tracking that because I'm realizing more and more that the weather really influences my mood, but not necessarily in like the way that it seems to work for like a very big like group of our population. Like, I mean, people seem to be elated when it's sunny and warm, and a lot of people hate gray, overcast, rainy days. But for me, it's actually quite the opposite. So I like tracking, like when I was really productive or feeling, for example, when I was feeling really tired for a couple of days, was that maybe also because it was just really, really warm? Because that kind of seems to be the case. So I don't know, I might not track that for the entire year. At some point, I might just leave the small top row blank. But it's just nice to at least experiment with it for a month and see whether I want to continue doing that. And then we have the weekly pages. So I started on the 1st of July, and I just love how this looks. It looks so full, and there's like just the right amount of decoration and writing. So on the left, there's the entire week in sort of the horizontal weekly format, like very comparable to, for example, the Hobonichi weeks. And in it, I write down what music I was listening to, what shows I watched, chapters from a book I read. In this week, I put a dot in front of every entry, and I changed that for this week into little icons so that I actually remember whether something was like a book or a TV show, or, you know, most of the times I'll be able to recognize it from just the name of the entry, but, you know, sometimes there will be overlap. So I figured it might be fun to just add some tiny icons. Here I just do some writing every day. And here I wanted to use a different ink, but then the ink ran out. So I switched to another pen, which also ran out. I should probably not use like last month's pens for these spreads, but I just figured that there was still ink left, so I should just write with them. But I didn't really check how much ink there was left. So this one ran out so fast that I actually had to dip the pen to just be able to finish my sentence. I didn't journal anything on Sunday. Well, that's not entirely true. I actually didn't journal anything on Saturday, but then because we were away for the entire day, and then I started journaling on Sunday, but I didn't really know how much space I was going to need. So I figured let's just start in Saturday's box, and like the first sentence is that like right now it's Sunday, but I didn't really have time to write anything Saturday. And I just started writing, and in the end I didn't need anything from Sunday's like box or space. But it's fine. Like, I don't really mind if there's a bit of empty space once in a while, as long as like most pages are filled up. So this is the current week. It's now Wednesday. So obviously I haven't been able to fill out any media for like the next 4 days. I've journaled for like Monday, Tuesday, and I started this morning. Still have some room to do some evening journaling. Use some lovely stickers from a London Gifty speed tea tape. And actually for this week, I picked out the decoration before I inked up these pens so that they match nicely. Because last week I realized like I had put down the decoration, but there wasn't anything in the lineup. Like I hadn't inked my pens for July yet, which, I mean, it was already July, but I was just a bit behind. And there wasn't anything in my June currently inked that really fit the decoration. So we used some pens that were carryovers from May even. Yeah, there's always a bit of a carryover in my pen case, but that's fine. So for this week, I actually thought ahead about the decoration and pens that I was going to use. So that's why I think this looks a bit more harmonious, if you will. And then I'm going to do the same, like alternating colors on this page. So yeah, that's what's currently in this planner. And I'm just really, really happy with it. I love the paper. I love the design of the planner. It has just the right amount of space that it doesn't feel daunting to get in here, but it also doesn't feel restrictive. So it's been really good to me. I still haven't decorated the front. Yeah, that's just a commitment issue. I just don't know what I want to put on there. And then the last one, my Paper Test Designs planner. Let's see. I haven't dated the entire planner yet. So like I said, it's undated. And I thought about dating it ahead completely. But I'm not sure if I don't do that and I want to switch out of this planner at some point, I still have a good chunk left that I can redate at some other point. So I probably won't date it. At least I won't fill the entire planner with dates. If I'm going to date it like ahead of time, I'll probably do so until December, not until like June of next year, because it does fit 12 months. I don't really know what I want to use this sort of yearly index for. I'm using the sort of quarterly overview that the planner has to track my runs. So far I've gone on 3 runs in July. So I'm just tracking like how far did I run and what was my pace. And then this is the monthly calendar, which I'm really using for like planning and keeping track of important dates, reminders, just everything goes in here. I've decided to not decorate inside the calendar boxes this time because I just found that a bit too busy and distracting in my old setup. So I just did a little tiny bit of decoration in like the side banners and at the bottom. I might put some gardening tasks for the month, like in the left hand like sidebar, but I don't really have any specific things that need to get done in July in our garden. So yeah, it's empty for now, but that's what I was thinking about using this one for. And then we have the weeklies. So this was the first weekly. This was last week. And I decided to dedicate the entire first spread, the one that has like the horizontal weekly on the left-hand side and then like 1.5 empty page. I've decided to dedicate that to a sort of weekly dashboard. So this is the dashboard that I come back to every day to see what do I have going on today specifically, and what do I have going on in various, or what do I want to get done in various areas of my life. So this is like things that I want to do more or less daily, regular stuff, chores in and around the house, a specific project, the things I want to do for a review on paper, some extra things that I added later in the week, and even like some things that I want to do in the video games that I often play, like some quests and achievements and stuff like that. So it really has everything from very important stuff that absolutely needs to get done, down to just some like fun stuff in video games that really doesn't matter if it doesn't get done, but by writing it down, it's outside of my head and I don't have to, even if I know that I'm only gonna have time, like, I don't know, on Saturday to play this video game and do a specific quest. Like, otherwise, the entire week, I will keep on thinking, oh yeah, you know what? During the weekend, I really need to play that one quest. Now it's just written down here and I don't have to think about it. And then I just started making to-do lists for every day, and I just see where the day ends. And then I put down some decoration and start the next day. So some weeks I might need a lot of space. Like here I have almost 3 pages, like 3 entire pages left. Whereas this week I might fill up more or I might fill up less. This way I'm really figuring out how much space I actually need if I do not restrict myself at all in my to-do list. So my to-do list, like I know that with this much space, my to-do list can be as specific and as detailed and as broken down into small steps as I want. Because the space allows it. And maybe I'll realize that even if I do that, I don't need this much space. For example, a B6 would be enough, or something like slimmer, more narrow would be enough. Then that is very important information for, next year's system. So this is the current week. Just put down some very simple decoration, and yeah, that's the sticker just keeps on not sticking. Stick down, you. I don't know where I was in my sentence, but yeah, that is how I'm currently using this. I am really enjoying it, but if we're gonna go to the next point that I had written down on my sort of script, is this planner piece? I'm not really sure yet. I love the takeanote, so I think there is journaling piece. With the 5-year journal and the takeanote, I do not find myself reaching for anything else to write down my thoughts. So that's great. I'm really happy with that. For planning, I am still not really sure. I am really enjoying playing around with this. I'm really enjoying trying out a different layout and seeing how that influences my planning. I can't say yet. I mean, I'm only in this for 10 days, so I can't say yet whether this is going to be the one for next year, whether I'm going to go back to the common planner or whether I'm trying something else. I might just, over the next couple of weeks, sometimes try and replicate a spread, maybe in the common planner, maybe in an old hobonichi weeks as well, just to see how it would look, how it would fit, what the advantages or downsides would be, just to make a really good comparison. I think that is it for the system update for now. As usual, it felt like a bit of a chaotic talk, but I hope that it gives you at least some sort of overview on how I'm currently using my planners. Then there is the life update left, which will also, I want to say unfortunately, but maybe it isn't really a bad thing, but it will also influence the upload schedule from now on. And that is because I'm starting a new job. I will officially start in August, but I'll probably have to do some things before that. So I'm going to have to go into the office a bit more often. I'll be working 3 days, so I'm very I feel very fortunate that I can work for 3 days and have time on the side for other things as well. But that does mean that there will be, I don't want to say really necessarily less time for Real on Paper, because there should be enough time to keep on making videos, but there will definitely in the beginning be less energy and less, I don't know, just bandwidth left in my brain. Because, you know, it's something new, and something new is always more tiring, more stressful. And yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. And I have a really good feeling about the company and the job itself. But I also know that the first period will be tiring and just very overwhelming, because everything is new. Every colleague is new. It's even in a different city, one that I've never lived before or worked before. It isn't too far from where I live, so that's good. But just lots of new things on the horizon. So I'll definitely keep you posted on that. And I really want to make sure that I'll keep uploading a video at least once a week. But the luxury of being able to, you know, have enough room in my head to make 2 videos a week most of the time, that will probably not be feasible for, I guess, at least until maybe October or so. There will definitely be a second video every once in a while, but probably not every week. So we'll just have to see. Maybe I have tons of energy left and you won't really see anything change in the upload schedule. But for now, I just want to give you a heads up and also share this news with you, because I've been really going through a bit of a roller coaster for the past few weeks, because like I knew from the moment that I sent my letter that I really, really wanted to get this job. But I, of course, I had absolutely no idea how I don't know, how the competition was, and like what exactly they were looking for, and what were their most important points, and if it was going to be a match, like also from me. So yeah, I'm really happy that it's actually going to happen. Yeah. So that is the life update as well. And with that, we've come to the end of the video, and the last bit of my coffee is definitely cold now. So that's that. Yeah, so I'm going to finish this kind of lukewarm, cold-ish coffee. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.